So welcome everybody to midweek meditation. I forgot which week this is. I think we're in week 17. I didn't print out the top page of my notes, so I can't remember. I'm Wendie Lash, and I will be facilitating this today. I know we have I see a couple of new people, so welcome. We stay on the Zoom an extra 15 minutes once the live stream has stopped. So there's a place to ask for questions or comments. And sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with my watch. So I like to honor the land that I am on. The historical inhabitants were the Lamchin tribelet of the Ramaytush people of the Coast-Snow and Ohlone Indians, Native Americans. And if you want to say, if you're new and you want to say where you're coming from, you can type that into the chat. I probably won't look at it right now because it's too distracting for me, but I'll look at it later. And because we have also our regulars here where we I know where everybody's from. Maybe not everybody else knows where everybody's from, but so it's nice to see both new faces and those that we have come to meditate with on a weekly basis. In general, meditation is a spiritual practice. We continue practicing it our whole life. So that one popped up. So hello, Lisa from Boulder, Colorado. We let the practice continue to unfold. And so if you're a relatively new meditator, just accept where you are. And we're doing a very specific meditation today because we are in the Jewish month, the Hebrew month of Elul. Elul is the month before Rosh Hashanah, before the High Holy Days start. And it is a month where we do a lot of preparation and reflection so that we're ready for Rosh Hashanah, and even more so, we're ready for Yom Kippur. So I will be sharing a couple of practices with you, and even more practices over the month. Elul started Thursday night, Friday of last week. So we're in the first week. Elul, one of the practices of Elul is that many people like to follow is to hear the shofar. Usually it's every morning, but we're together now, and some people may have not heard it already. So I'm going to blow some shofar. The idea is that the shofar is a way to wake ourselves up. So if we're in a very reflective month, trying to figure out how did we miss the mark last year as human beings, as individuals, and how can we be better in the coming year? Well, the first step is to recognize that in some areas of our life, we may be asleep, we may not be grateful, we may be not aware to how our behavior, our thoughts, our actions, our intentions, how they're impacting us and how they're impacting others. So that first process is to wake up. And in Elul, we listen to the shofar call every day. And then on Rosh Hashanah, we listen to it a lot. I think there's over 100 shofar blasts or more, depending on the community that you're in. So I invite you to sit back and take in the shofar. I'm not quite sure which sounds I will do. I'll see in a moment. I'm going to move my microphone away because it totally overwhelms it. I'm going to blow off to the side, but you'll hear it fine. So let yourself be woken up in this moment. So you may fall asleep in the meditation a little bit later, but my guess is you're not asleep now. So that is good. So that's one practice that we do to wake us up, to help us to be more present in Elul. Another practice is called Heshbon HaNefesh, which is the counting of the soul. And that is being reflective. So
Volume.
I like to do a
Wendie, you need
morning.
to talk louder. You need to talk louder.
Yeah, I know. I think my microphone got a little overwhelmed here, so it'll come back.
Could you please repeat what it means?
Heshbon HaNefesh. Yeah, Heshbon HaNefesh means an accounting of the soul. So nefesh is one of the words for soul, and Heshbon is counting up. So we are doing a soul accounting. That is what the month of Elul is about, is to do a soul accounting. And specifically, meditation is a great way to do that. And the practices that we're going to be doing together today and for the next 3 weeks are going to be helping us in that way. On your own, you can do a reflection, you can do journaling. It can be done at the end of the evening, it can be done in the morning, it can be done whenever. So Heshbon HaNefesh is just taking stock of who you are as a soul and, what's your work. Teshuva is another term that we use. What is your teshuva? Many people heard it traditionally translated as atonement, repentance, but it actually means turning. So, or turning or returning, if you take it back to its root. So how do we want to turn in this coming year? How do we want to return to ourselves or return to the goals or the aspirations is probably a better way to think of this, the aspirations that we had to be our best self last year, which all of us missed. Some places are bigger misses than others, and we're more aware of them. And this time in Elul is a time to actually get even more aware. The idea is that if we do our work in Elul to make repairs, to turn, you still can't hear me. Okay, I'll put it a little closer. I'm gonna have to put the mic way far away, I think, next time. Hopefully it'll come back. Let me know if you still can't hear me. If the idea is you need it more. Okay. Let's see if I can know how to do this.
It's better.
I was saying it's fine.
Better.
That was a thumbs up.
Oh, that was a thumbs up. Okay.
Yeah, now we can hear.
All right. Thank you. So the idea is that if we do the work of returning to ourselves, if we do the work of turning and asking for forgiveness, making apologies to people that we might have caused pain or harm, that then when we get to Yom Kippur, we're ready to ask for the bigger forgiveness, to ask it from God. If that's not your theology, to ask it from the universe, to ask it from the collective that we are all part of. And especially in this time that we find ourselves in, where I think our country and the world is looking at where's the collective teshuva that we need to do? Where have we as a society, where do we need to look at the places that are still broken, that we have ossified, that we've, institutionalized racism, and how we are objectifying and treating the planet. Those are the challenges of our time right now. And we have a personal piece in that, and we can look at that as well. And so maybe that's what this Yom Kippur is a bigger opening for us. And we do the smaller, the more intimate, the close to us work with our friends and family and people that are around us. we'll go into this more over the next few weeks, and we'll go into it for today's meditation. What I wanted to say is that this can be a challenging time to kind of look at and be really honest about how you missed the mark. And that's actually the way that if you look at the word hate, which also gets translated as sin, traditionally, many of us like the translation of missing the mark because it is the same Hebrew word as when you shoot an arrow and you don't hit the bullseye. And that is a much softer way to look at how we weren't our best selves. Not that we sinned and not that we're bad people, but that we miss the mark being our best self. And so we want to try and aim more straightly. And that's what Elul and the high holidays are helping us to do, is to try and correct our aim. And so if we think of as meditation of training the mind, I thought, well, we can think of Elul as training the soul. So we're in a double dip today. We're going to train the soul and train the mind at the same time. One other concept that I'm going to use today, Kabbalah talks about, so mystical Judaism talks about the world being, or all of creation being on 4 levels, and that we can look at repair on all these 4 levels. And so the first level is the physical world. How might we have in the physical world, where's our adjustment needed? Where's our correction needed? Where do we need to ask for forgiveness? And I'll go into that in the meditation, things like our bodies, other people's bodies, the planet. Those are in the world of the physical world of Assiyah. Then the next world is the world of emotions. So how have our feelings and emotions, or how we might have hurt somebody, that's in the world of emotions, that we can look at that. And then the next world is the world of thoughts. Even thinking about somebody, including yourself, even being critical, self-judgmental, or critical of another, these all have, especially the way the Kabbalah looks at the world, they all have ripple effects. So even if we don't do something, what we think and our thoughts have an impact on us and have an impact on others and the world. And then the final level is Atzilut, which is the spiritual realm. And in that, we will simply be with our breath and be in the meditation to honor and integrate everything that has happened in the other worlds that we looked at. So that's what we're going to do today. The chant that I'm going to do is from Shefa Gold, and it's about turning and returning. So to think about returning to yourself, returning to the one, turning and returning, that is what Elul is all about. Then I'll take us into the meditation, and in between each of the worlds, the levels, we're obviously not going to different worlds. Well, maybe some of us will, but as we intend to think about how we have been in each one of these realms, I'll ring very gently the gong, and then I'll ring it again to end the meditation. Now let us turn, return, and be turned. Now let us turn, return, and be turned. Now let us turn, return, and be turned. to the one. Now let us turn, return, and be turned. Now let us turn, return, and be turned. Now let us turn, return, and be turned to the one. Now let us turn, return, and be turned. Now let us turn, return, and be turned. Now let us turn, return, and be turned to the one. Now let us turn, return, and be turned. Now let us turn, return, and be turned. Now let us turn, return, and be turned to the one. Notice your breath. Notice the inhale and the lungs filling up, and the exhale and softening. Breathing in, front to back, filling, side to side, filling, and exhale and simply releasing and letting go. Relaxing into your own breath. Noticing the body. Noticing your sit bones and the pressure where you're sitting. Noticing any place else where there's pressure against your body, maybe the low back or the mid back if you're in a chair, the bottoms of your feet or somewhere on your feet if they're touching the ground. Noticing the crease in the elbows where the body folds on itself. Just feeling the little bit of pressure there. Paying attention to the sensations which are always in the body, bringing us into the body by paying attention to what is already there. Noticing the folds behind the knees. Noticing the shoulders, the neck, the shoulder blades. You might find that when you start noticing them, you want to adjust them a little bit more. To release any tension there, you can lift the shoulders up and send them back and send the shoulder blades down towards back pockets, even if you don't have them. Letting the spine be nice and long from the base of the neck down to the base of the spine, so that the breath can travel. And so we're sitting in an honoring position of the body, not slumping over, but really honoring the body and its presence and its being the sacred container for the soul. And as we take this guided journey through the four worlds, noticing anything that's arising in the body, in the mind, it's all wonderful. There's no particular way to be. Whatever arises, whatever has resonance or energy for you, honor it as part of your Elul Teshuva process and work. And we focus on the physical realm, the world of physicality. And we let our mind and our hearts be open as you think and explore how might your actions in the physical world not been their best? Where might you have been not as respectful to your body or to the body of another as you would have liked to have been? How might you have unintentionally or intentionally not been aware of the earth and how she is suffering? And how might your actions have been not as mindful as you would have liked them to be? So we take a few minutes to sit with those questions and openings and prompts. We now explore the world of feelings, emotions, Yetzirah. We acknowledge feelings that we still have of ways that we might have been impacted by somebody else's less than skillful behavior. And we acknowledge the feelings that we have about ways that we were not our most skillful. We acknowledge where we've been hurt, where we might have or where we know we've hurt another. And we also can acknowledge ways that we haven't been grateful. We've taken for granted the care, the kindness, the love, the support, the blessings provided by another human, an animal companion, an institution, and Mother Earth. So we take some time to be in the world of emotions and in the world of feelings. And what might arise, what might be our work in this world, this Elul. Where might we need to turn or offer when we recognize that we may have caused pain to another? Take some time in this world. we move to the world of Briyah, of thoughts. The understanding in Jewish mysticism is that thoughts come before emotions, which come before actions. And so we travel deeper down into the world of thoughts and know that even if we are thinking something and not acting on it, it does affect us and it does affect others in our sphere of influence. So we take a little bit of time to think about our thoughts. And even if we haven't expressed them, what are the thoughts that we're holding that are self-critical or judgmental? What are the thoughts that we're holding about others that are critical or judgmental? And how might we want to release those and allow love and compassion for ourselves and for others to turn towards that instead of being in the stream of criticism and judgment. And also thinking about speech in the thought realm. How have we not been thoughtful? How can we be more thoughtful before we say something, before it comes out, before we do anything? So wanting to invite in that sense of honoring the thought before it becomes the emotion and the action, and how might we want to do some repair work this Elul on those thoughts that we have. Take a few minutes in that reflection. And for our final few minutes, we're in the spiritual world of Atzilut. And so take some time to rest in the openness, to be with your breath. Notice your thoughts and feelings as they arrive, and let the breath help you feel the connection to all breaths and all breathers, and to the oneness that we are all part of, and the sustaining, rejuvenating, loving force that allows for forgiveness, allows for and creates Teshuva, return. It's said in the Talmud that Teshuva was created before the world. The sense that we, as human beings, innately need this process of returning to ourselves and turning away and off of a path back to the place of our most skillfulness. So as we say goodbye to those in the live stream, we end with honoring the divine light that is in each one of you. And even though you're not present in the Zoom room, I really feel the presence of everyone meditating with us. And so I know that I honor, and everyone else honors the divine. The divine in me salutes the divine in you. And we say, B'Tselem Yah. And please take time to reflect and be in this time of Elul. It is a deep spiritual practice. And if you can do it, you provide a great gift to yourself and to the world.